and welcome to Find Out What's in Pelenta's Forest. Grab yourself a glass of water or a cup of tea and spend the next few minutes with me. And like I always tell you, don't believe everything you hear. Check your facts, do your own research. That means don't believe every single thing that I say. Look it up and check it out. Don't you want to know what my butterflies are saying? Don't you want to know what my butterflies are talking? Don't take the blue pill, you'll only go insane. Follow the red butterfly and you get to use your brain. Yes! You know what? See? You give a bored human a toy, and this is what happens. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Find Out What's in Pelenta's Forest. I am Pelenta, and this is my forest. It is. Cool stuff to talk to you about tonight. I've got some news to share with you. I've got news. North Korea, vehicle recall, and Starbucks straws are biting your lip as you drink your green tea frappuccino. I'm just kidding. Anyway, let's get started. North Korea. You know what they have the nerve to say about us? Listen, you need to start researching Kim Jong-un with his crazy self and all the madness that is going on in his brain. You know he had the nerve to say? I just like, what? Do you know what he had the nerve to say? He had the nerve to say that the United States acts aggressively. Okay, we're acting aggressively. Meanwhile, this fool that's about 3 feet tall is doing all kinds of crazy madness. But we act aggressively. Listen, North Korea's top diplomat for U.S. affairs said on a Thursday that Washington effectively declared war by sanctioning leader Kim Jong-un and said a vicious showdown could erupt if the United States and South Korea hold annual war games as planned next month. Did you hear that? Annual war games? The heck are they talking about here? Whoever Han Song-royal is, he said that recent U.S. actions have put the situation on the Korean peninsula on a war footing. He said that the United States and South Korean military exercises have become openly aggressive because they reportedly now include training for the invasion of North Korea. How was that for a subliminal message? Okay, so North Korea says the U.S. acts aggressively, right? Well, now listen to this headline. North Korean missile lands near Japan and it prompts backlash. Now I don't understand. Now you're telling us that we're crazy and violent. And look what your crazy butt's doing. You've been shooting off missiles and laughing and playing with us for the last, 3 or 4 years? You've been doing all kinds of crazy nonsense. So, in Seoul, South Korea, a medium-range ballistic missile fired Wednesday by North Korea flew about 620 miles and landed near Japan's territorial waters, Seoul and Tokyo, officials said. Now, the United States Strategic Command said that North Korea fired 2 presumed Radong missiles simultaneously. Not just 1, but 2, okay? The command said initial indications were that one of the missiles exploded immediately after launch, while the second was tracked over North Korea and into the Sea of Japan. Now, Great Britain and France said that they will press for condemnation by the UN Security Council and possibly more sanctions. Now, North Korea has recently claimed a series of technical breakthroughs and its goal of developing a long-range nuclear missile capable of reaching the continental United States. Okay, now South Korean defense officials say that North Korea doesn't yet have such a weapon, but civilian experts believe that the North has the technology to mount warheads on shorter range Radong and Scud missiles that can strike South Korea and Japan. Now, you know what? Let me tell you something. This is a long article, so I think you got the gist of it. I'm going to stop here. But let me tell you something. Do not ever, ever underestimate anybody. If you think that somebody that's 3 feet tall can't kick your butt, then your brains aren't working. Okay? Because you underestimate people. They pop up and surprise you with something that you didn't even see coming. You heard that saying? Sheena was a man. Surprise, surprise, Tone Loc. So anyway, the drama continues with North Korea. I mean, you know, if somebody is constantly picking at you and doing certain things, you better start paying attention, all right? Because that person is definitely up to something. And quite frankly, you know, the newspapers keep saying stupid stuff like, well, Kim Jong-un, he's a nut. We know that. Kim Jong-un, what is he going to do? He's not going to do anything. Well, you know what? He's doing a lot. He is shooting off missiles and he is poking the bear. Now, how long do you think it's going to be before he gets up enough nerve to hop the fence and approach that bear? All right? Now hear me out. If he is crazy enough to hop a fence and approach that bear, meanwhile the sign says, do not feed the bears, he's not just your average stupid human that's going to hop the fence and go in their bare hand and try to feed that bear. Okay, you know what he's going to do? He's going to hop that fence. And when his feet hit the ground, that fool's going to be loaded up with grenades, shotgun, bazooka, you name it, to take that bear out. So you keep on playing with Kim Jong-un and treat him like he's a stupid fool, because he might be crazy, but he's not stupid. And he's planning something. Goodness gracious. You just let a little kid run wild. And what are you going to have? War games. And what happens in war games? It's a game. But why is it that somebody always forgets to take the live ammo out of their gun when you're supposed to be shooting blanks? Man, like I always say, you people on this planet are cotton picking freaking crazy. Moving right along, Ford is recalling 830,000 vehicles for door latches. And they're not recalling them because they want to take your door latches because they're dipped in gold. No, Ford is recalling about 830,000 vehicles in the United States and Mexico because parts in the side door latches can break and the doors can open while the vehicles are moving. You know, remember Anton Yeltsin, the handsome young Russian kid that was in Star Trek? Well, his family is suing now because these vehicles, they're running over people and they're killing people. They're jumping out of gear They're running over children. They're backing over people. They're pinning people to their fence in their mailboxes. I mean, what is up with all these defective parts? You know, and it's not the machinery. It's the people that are making it. You know, if you would just do stuff the right way and stop always trying to cut corners, you know, and take little breaks that meanwhile are hurting us, little people out here, and it's also costing you tons and tons and tons of more money in the long run. If you would just take a second and do the job right, and take your time and do it right, and then double check for mistakes and defects, you won't have all these recalling nonsense. You know how much money that they're losing right now? You have to recall 830,000 vehicles for something as simple as door latches are defective. I'm driving. I have my kid. I don't have kids, but I have my kid in the back seat, and I turn the corner. Now let's get into defective products. The dang car seat that he's in is defective. So I turn the corner, my defective latch opens the door, and then my defective car seat throws my kid out the window. Come on, people. Take your time, slow down, and double check your stuff. And listen to this. Now, this is really what's the craziest part about it. Now, it says the latches can break and the doors can open while the vehicles are moving, which means the doors can open while you are driving the vehicle. The vehicle can just fly open. Now, the recall announced on a Thursday, it covers certain 2013 to 2015 Ford Escape SUVs and C-Max cars, and the 2012 and 2015 Focus cars. And also included in this recall are 2014 to 2016 Ford Transit Connect vans and Ford Mustangs and Lincoln MKC SUVs from 2015. Now, Ford says that a faulty spring part can break, and the rate of problems is higher in states with higher temperatures, including California. Now, that's very interesting, with higher temperatures. So then that leads me to go off into a whole nother big tangent about, okay, so if these parts are temperature sensitive, then we need to do something about these parts. How are we making these parts? Are we using cheap materials now, so when it gets warm, the lock expands, it gets hot, and the door flies open? If you would just spend an extra 10 cents and use maybe, you know, better material because you can afford it, and you won't be wasting this much money. That's over 500,000 cars that are being recalled. So, you know, of course mistakes happen, but I personally think that it's just the pressure of the economy, trying to get these cars out fast, trying to have the best car, and people are working overtime, they're tired, and they're making careless mistakes under pressure. I don't know this for a fact. I'm just voicing an opinion. You know what they say about opinions? Everybody has one. So now we've got the recalling of the vehicle. Now listen to this. This is even crazier. Starbucks recalls steel straws. In Seattle, hello Seattle people, Starbucks is recalling stainless steel straws sold in stores and online after 3 reports of children suffering mouth lacerations while using them. Now see, earlier, what did I say? The straw bit my lip. I was just joking when I said that because I hadn't actually read this article yet. But there you go. It's causing mouth lacerations. So I'd like to know, here I go, what dang kind of straw is gonna, I mean, even if it's a steel straw, I mean, look, here's a paper clip. This is metal or steel, but you see how it's smooth, so I can drink without ripping out my teeth or cutting up my lip. This is ridiculous. Oh my goodness. Now listen to this. The Seattle-based company said about 2.5 million straw sets were sold in the U.S. The straws have a ridge that keeps them attached to the beverage lid. Now, Starbucks says that people should not let children use the straws. Well, how do people listen? People with children, they don't listen. And I'm just going to leave it at that. The United States Consumer Product Safety Commission said that the straws were sold between June of 2012 and June of 2016, and they cost about $6 for a set of 3 straws. And guess where the straws were made? I bet you can't guess. All right, I'll just tell you. They were made in the wonderful land of China. Now, what are the chances that if they were made here in the United States, that wouldn't have happened? But, I mean, mistakes happen, I'm just saying, I'm just talking for argument's sake. But 2.5 million straws. Now, you know what? You mark my word. And listen, and it's from 2012. This has been going on for 4 years. Why is it that anytime something happens, like right now, something will come out, and then in the little red fine print that you have to get a magnifying glass to see, what does it say? Oh, this has been going on since 1990 or something. And it's like we're always the last to know. And also, too, what do you want to make a bet that somebody is going to sue because their kid is going to, oh, I cut my lip, and the kid's going to be crying, and then the mama or the daddy is going to be so traumatized, it's going to be a case worth $2.5 million, and you know what? They'll probably get that money. Man. All right, moving right along. Check this out. New Samsung phone unlocks with iris scanner. Okay, you'll be able to unlock Samsung's new phone by just looking at it. The Galaxy Note 7 will come with an iris scanner which matches patterns in your eyes. Wow. And it's detected by your phone during setup. It offers an alternative to fingerprint ID, which doesn't work well when fingers are wet. Well, you know what? It's not going to work well if you cut your finger with the paper cut, or if you alter your, if you alter your fingers in any way, because the device is looking for those fingerprints. So if anything happens, if you have dirt in your crevices or anything like that, then it's not going to read because it's not going to recognize the fingerprint. So here I go. I keep telling you guys about this new technology. Yes, it's great, but it's also faulty. You should probably only use it in case of an emergency, and then it might not work for you. But anyway, it says that the fingerprint sometimes doesn't work, when your hands are wet. But of course, the 4-digit passcode will still work. I think I'll stick with that. Because just think, what if you have pink eye or something? Or what if your contacts have just irritated your eyes, and then you look at the iris and it's picking up something, then you still won't be able to get into your phone. So the best thing for you to do is just keep the stupid 4-letter code or word or whatever it is. That's your best bet. But it says here that that we challenge our engineers to design a security system that's convenient and safe at the same time. So it took 5 years to perfect, but it only takes a glance to unlock your phone. Well, I tell you, when we get all this new technology and stuff really kicks in, we are going to be a minority report. And people are going to be having eye transplants, and you know what I mean? That's what it's coming to. Go watch Minority Report. That's one of Tom Cruise's best movies. Okay, let's see. What else do we have here? Oh, Portland. Now listen to this. Portland ends. This is Oregon. Portland, Oregon ends its safe sleep policy. Now, Mayor Charlie Hales on Tuesday announced the end of a pilot program that allowed homeless people to sleep on the streets undisturbed by law enforcement. And now he's saying that it's created confusion because some people believed that it legalized public camping. It's really a shame that there are so many homeless people in this world. And hungry too, which just strikes me as just so, I cannot wrap my head around this hunger in America, because you have a fast food restaurant every quarter mile serving all kinds of different varieties of food. And then you have a grocery store or some kind of a convenience market every mile. You go into the grocery store and what do you see? Cakes, cookies, candies, pies, pizzas, soda pop. and people are actually hungry. That just blows my mind. But anyway, the safe sleeping guidelines policy will end immediately, but other pilot programs that also rolled out in February of this year, 2016, will continue or expand. People believe that camping was made legal, and outreach workers and law enforcement are struggling to educate people about the difference between a safe night's sleep and unsanctioned camping. It's a shame that there's so many homeless people in the world. But getting on to one last thing, because you know how I am. I always like to show you guys something, you know, really funny or cool. But you remember I had ranted about Pokemon, and I was just like, are you kidding me? Pokemon doesn't make any sense. But listen at this. Pokemon statue pops up in a park. Are you freaking kidding me? Yes, I'm not kidding you or me either. It says, a statue of the Pokemon character Pikachu sits in a New Orleans park on Wednesday. Amid the craze over virtual creatures in the smartphone-based Pokemon Go game, a Pokemon character that people can touch has mysteriously appeared in a Louisiana city. Someone put up a statue of the iconic character at the center of a broken fountain in a park over the weekend. Okay, so I'm going to show you this. But you know what is so funny? There, can you see that? I'm sorry, but that is kind of cool. Whoever did it, it's kind of cool. Pokemon statue. But you know what is just so funny to me is when people do stuff, you know, like this, and things pop up overnight. I mean, people are up all night. Everybody works different shifts. So I always wonder, did anybody see him? Was he the great big green Incredible Hulk man running down the street holding a Pokemon statue and he just plopped it there? It's like, where was everybody? Nobody saw a thing. And there's cameras everywhere. So nobody knows how this mysterious Pokemon statue just showed up, you know, out of the blue. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your support. Thank you for watching. I really, really, really appreciate it. And as usual, you know, I love everybody. Your sex, color, gender, race does not matter to me. We really need to be mindful of the things that come out of our mouth because our words do hurt people. Okay, this is a time where we're supposed to be coming together as a people, as a human race, helping each other get better, helping each other do good and positive things. And for you, those of you that just, your hearts are just consumed with hate and racial slurs, and I really feel bad for you. I don't know what happened to you, but something terrible obviously did, and you didn't deserve it. I think everybody deserves to be happy, have a little happiness in their life, and the whole 9 yards. So, on that note, I am so very grateful for everything, and I am really grateful for you. So you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can go to my website, PelentaRForrest.com, and purchase a copy of my book, Angels Passing Through. And on that note, one love, getting you on out of here. And why do I say one love? Because there's so many people in this world. And I think it's really a shame, and it breaks my heart, that so many people are sad and lonely and scared and are in pain. They have nobody to turn to. So, you know, let's keep those people in prayer because they really need it. Anyway, thank you for watching. Find out what's in Pelenta's Forest, and God bless you all. Good night.